Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 23 shows us that Prescience was wrong? Well, kind of, in a way. Well, it doesn't actually predict that Kawaki would join in the battle. So Kashin Koji, in the moment when Boruto is fighting Jura, and then Kawaki swoops in, Kashin Koji gets an update from Prescience showing him a whole new future of possibilities. And so, my initial understanding of it was he would be able to watch like a film strip or like a reel or whatever, and he would be able to see the visions in real time, like constantly updating him, which is why he's always kind of like looking or like sitting down and like thinking about stuff or like, focusing or whatever, right? That's kind of why he needs to be in an isolated room alone to absorb all of the things that he's seen or seeing in real time. But instead of that, it seems that he gets updates every couple days or so, or weeks, who knows, right? But in this particular instance, Kashin Koji was saying that it had been 6 days since the last update he got. And so, depending on the timeline of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, I don't know how long it's been, but let's say 6 days ago was when Boruto invaded the village or showed up at the village, right? And like kind of started everything, and things had played out up until that point. 6 days later, he's getting a new update for the first time of like how events will go. And he never saw a possibility where Kawaki showed up. So Prescience was kind of wrong, but it was also kind of right. Well, Boruto changed the events by telling Kawaki that Amado was holding back his destructive power and capabilities and strength. So because of that, Kawaki went to Amado and got his limiters removed and was able to be a full strength now. So all of that combined means that Boruto's little interference wasn't on Kashin Koji's radar because he can't see what Boruto's doing, or a future where Boruto tells Kawaki to get his powers boosted and then so on and so forth. He can only see what happens when the updates are given to him, right? Anything that changes it or switches things up is totally out of the blue. It's totally outside of his visions, outside of his predictions of the future. Unlike Ada, who was able to see that Boruto was able to talk to Kawaki and their kind of alliance with each other and their decision that they work together for now, and then when it's all over, they'll have their bro and bro fight against one another, And it's interesting to know that there is a way to overcome Prescience. It isn't set, it isn't destined, but I want more explanation from Kashin Koji about how his ability works. It's interesting that it's not like, imagine watching your favorite TV show, like whatever your TV show is, right? And can you only watch it once and then you have to remember the whole thing? Or is it like you can watch it as many times as you want on like over and over again on reruns, but you know what I mean? And that's how you absorb all of the knowledge. Or is it just like the one time hit? You know what I mean? I'm curious to know that. Is it just a one-time watch when he gets the update? Or is it he gets the update and then he's able to rewatch it over and over again to follow all of the different possibilities and outcomes and stuff? You know what I mean? So the fact that this didn't pop up as a possibility for him is outside of it's something that's unknown, or like something that he has to figure out or learn, that like, wow, the future can be changed, or my visions can be wrong, or they can go the other way, or something else can happen or tweak, or something or some other way. You know what I mean? So it's interesting to see. And until chapter 24, I don't think we're going to get any kind of like updates from him or understanding of his abilities more. And thinking about it, there is kind of like a nod to that like he was able to get updates during huge important moments. So on his deathbed, when Ishiki was revived, he was able to see Naruto versus Ishiki. He was able to see Boruto turn into Momoshiki or whatever, Code invading the village to take Kawaki. Kawaki getting his karma back. He was able to see Omnipotence and Boruto and Kawaki's life swapping. Stuff like that ahead of time. And then slowly, I guess he would get another update. So Boruto being alive was a new update. And And Sasuke versus Code was maybe another update. And then that's how he found Boruto. And then he started training him, and it showed him the possibilities of Boruto training alone and how he learned the Flying Raijin, maybe Uzuhiko, and other abilities and so on. So all of that together makes the circumstances that we know. So this is another huge moment where Kawaki swoops in, saves Boruto, and he lives, and it goes against Prescience. So I don't know. I think it's interesting. I want to know just a little bit more about it, you know. But up until now, I guess when big moments happen, be ready for an update. That's the idea. And following Prescience isn't a guarantee either. You know what I mean? So if they followed Prescience to the letter, obviously Yodo died or got hurt. And in another version, Konohamaru also got hurt. So maybe going against it or fighting against it isn't all that bad or isn't totally outside of the question. And now Boruto has like a clear example of a time where he went against Prescience or went against Kashin Koji and things turned out okay. Things worked in their favor, but maybe not always. You know what I mean? So we'll have to wait and see until chapter 24. But I'm excited. It's really cool to learn more about his Shinjutsu and what kind of limitations there are to it. And seeing the limitations of this one, maybe there's a limitation to the other Shinjutsus as well. A way to go against them or to, negate them, I guess. Though it's a little bit more tricky for like the Senrigan or the Reflection or the Sukuna Hikuna, I guess. So we'll have to wait and see. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah,